Fans watched Soldier Boy jock on his haters and Butcher finally get his long-awaited battle against Homelander. Throw in the most guilt-inducing feast of seafood ever shown on screen, and the new season of The Boys went above and beyond. Here are the most eye-opening scenes from The Boys Season 3. In Season 3's opening episode, Payback, the audience witnesses a truly novel act of lovemaking. In the scene, Termite has the time of his life at a party, doing all sorts of things that would most certainly not result in a clean urine sample. However, the fun doesn't stop there, as Termite finds a partner who wants the full, unabridged experience of his superpowers. Remember the briefly popular Thanos theory that the MCU Big Bad could have been defeated if Ant-Man had simply shrunk down, climbed up Thanos' rear end, and returned to his normal size? Well, presumably the writers of The Boys were inspired by this grotesque visual when they wrote the scene where Termite and one of his new friends have an explosive physical encounter. The soup shrinks down to size and then climbs inside his partner's orifice? The tingly escapade sends shivers down the partner's spine as he encourages Termite to go further and hit the right spot. Unfortunately, the foreplay turns into a bloody mess as Termite sneezes and transforms back to his regular size. By doing so, he destroys his partner's love gun and a good part of his insides as well. If Thanos ever comes back to the MCU, Ant-Man should be taking notes.
Thanos happened and I got stuck in there.
In the episode The Only Man in the Sky, Billy Butcher becomes the very thing he despises most, a soup. He has a reason though. He rationalizes taking V24, a new type of compound V, would help him stand a chance against gunpowder. When Butcher meets Soldier Boy's former sidekick again, he has super strength and heat vision. In a scene that could be straight out of an R-rated cut of a superhero film, Butcher doesn't just defeat Gunpowder. Instead, he pounds Gunpowder's face to a bloody pulp and then slices him in half with his heat vision. More importantly, the scowl on his face shows that he doesn't regret his actions for 1 second. Who is the man behind the mask? That's a question that The Boys fans have had about the silent but violent member of the Seven, Black Noir. He never takes off his helmet, ensuring he remains one of the most intriguing enigmas in superhero television. That is, until Season 3's episode, Barbary Coast. In a flashback showing President Ronald Reagan's off-the-books project Operation Charlie, Black Noir is shown as a member of the Payback team, standing alongside the likes of Soldier Boy and Crimson Countess. However, the biggest revelation comes when the young Stan Edgar speaks with Black Noir. For the first time, the enigmatic superhero shows his face. Black Noir looks like a normal young guy, and he vents about how no one knows who he is under the mask. Later in the episode, Noir's face is horribly mutilated following an ambush on the base. But a few episodes later, we find out that amidst the skirmish, Payback betrayed Soldier Boy to give him to the Russians, and a fight against Soldier Boy would explain why one of the deadliest superheroes of the Seven was so visibly injured. The Deep shows his love for his aquatic friends extends beyond caring for the ocean. In Season 3, he develops a particularly close relationship with a sentient octopus named Timothy. The dastardly Homelander knows everyone's secrets, though. In a twisted show of who's in charge and how he'll destroy someone both physically and psychologically, the psychopath serves seafood to his guests, including the still-alive Timothy the Octopus. The Deep is instantly taken aback, staring at his friend on the plate before him. With everyone around him watching and waiting for the Deep to prove his loyalty to Homelander, he's forced to eat Timothy alive. The event traumatizes the aquatic soup, who can't believe what he's done to his friend.
Wasn't that delicious?
The Boys Season 3 does a good job of building up the arrival of Soldier Boy. While the audience sees him in flashbacks, the extent of his power is really shown in the episode The Last Time to Look on This World of Lies. If there was any doubt that he was as powerful as Homelander, the explosive scene at Crimson Countess' trailer puts that doubt to rest. Soldier Boy is now awake and seeking out Crimson Countess for revenge. After finding out that she wasn't paid to betray him and did it only because she hated him, he becomes enraged. His chest starts to glow as his anger boils over. A massive blast erupts out of him, burning down the trailer and turning Crimson Countess into a flame-grilled corpse. Despite the damage and destruction done, Soldier Boy walks away from the wreckage unscathed and unbothered. The Boys showrunner Eric Kripke explained to Variety the reasoning behind why Soldier Boy received his specific set of powers. "We said, what would be the scariest thing to Homelander? And the scariest thing in the whole world to Homelander is just to be a regular dude. So giving Soldier Boy these blasts of sort of radioactive, walking Chernobyl power that are frying the compound V out of Supes' systems is going to make him very, very scary to Homelander." A-Train experiences a topsy-turvy arc in The Boys Season 3. He has moments when one believes he may see the light and turn his back on Homelander, but there are plenty of occasions that remind us he still has a long way to go on the road toward redemption. One of his most important scenes in Season 3 involves him gaining revenge on the racist supe Blue Hawk, who viciously assaulted and crippled his brother Nathan earlier in the season. At the Herogasm event, A-Train confronts his brother's attacker. An exchange briefly takes place before A-Train grabs hold of Blue Hawk and dishes out punishment. He speeds through the streets, dragging his adversary across the asphalt, giving him a serious exfoliation treatment. Unsurprisingly, Blue Hawk is nothing more than roadkill by the end of this super speed sprint. A-Train's vengeance isn't without consequence though, as he suffers a heart attack in the middle of the street after using his powers. And in a sick twist of fate, he now has the heart of Blue Hawk. Literally. Since The Boys debuted on Amazon, fans have waited for the inevitable clash between Butcher and Homelander. Unfortunately, everyone knows that Homelander's powers, coupled with his psychopathic nature, give him the advantage in almost every situation. In Season 3, however, Butcher has an ace up his sleeve. In fairness, it's actually two. The first is V24, the new compound which gives him temporary superpowers and evens the playing field.
Oi.
The second is Soldier Boy, a supe who might be more powerful than Homelander. In the episode Herogasm, Butcher and Homelander finally get to slug it out. Butcher, though, doesn't come alone. With the help of Soldier Boy and Huey, they subdue Homelander and nearly destroy him before he escapes in the nick of time. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, does it? In The Boys Season 3, it should have been expected that Homelander and Soldier Boy would have some kind of close connection, especially considering their similar powers and questionable behavior. However, no one expected the shocker that Soldier Boy drops on Homelander. The groundwork for this revelation begins when Mindstorm tells Soldier Boy something before dying. At the time, it's unclear what the news could be since Soldier Boy doesn't give too much away and continues as his usual prickly self. However, at the end of the episode, Here Comes a Candle to Light You to Bed, Soldier Boy picks up the phone and calls Homelander. He doesn't dance around the topic too much, detailing how he gave a genetic sample to Vought in the 1980s that he thinks was used to create Homelander.
If they'd have just kept me around, I'd have let you take the spotlight. What father wouldn't want that for his son?
Soldier Boy wasn't a nice guy in the past, nor is he any better now. While Butcher believed he could use him as a weapon to exterminate Homelander once and for all, he and the rest of the boys quickly discover that he has no intentions of becoming a hero. Instead, he's ready for carnage and destruction, much like his test tube bouncing baby boy. In the finale of The Boys Season 3, everyone needs to work together to put a stop to this Captain America wannabe. The Last Stand sees Mother's Milk, Butcher, and Starlight using everything they've got against Soldier Boy. One-on-one, it is shown that they can't take him down or even compete against him, but they have a chance as a team. Eventually, Huey realizes that he'll never be as powerful as Starlight and needs to support her instead of trying to protect her. He increases the brightness of the lights in the room, powering up her abilities, and this enables Starlight to blast Soldier Boy with such ferocity and power that it sends him reeling. If there's one person who has been put through the ringer in The Boys Season 3, it's Queen Maeve. She shows her cards early in the season when she tries to give Butcher the ammunition he needs to take down Homelander. When she's captured, many fans assume that Homelander got rid of her after discovering her betrayal. However, Maeve shows up in the finale in a heroic manner and ends up having one of the most significant moments of the season. After Soldier Boy finds himself beaten, his chest begins to glow, indicating that he's about to blow everyone up. Queen Maeve, who has already lost an eye at this point, bravely tackles him and they sail out of a window. She doesn't let go of him as he erupts and engulfs her in the blast. To the world, Maeve is now dead. However, it's revealed that she survived the incident at the cost of her powers and plans to take on a new soup-free identity. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite TV shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.